The next question is from Assembly Member Twycross, and is about Brexit.
Thank you for your question. In my response to the Government's Brexit White Paper back in March, I highlighted the risk of the Prime Minister's extreme hard Brexit approach, stressed the importance of transitional arrangements and continued my fight for the rights of EU nationals in the UK to be guaranteed. I know the comments of the Deputy Chair at the start of the meeting. I think we're now winning the debate on these issues, but the Government's progress, especially in agreeing the rights of EU nationals, over 1 million of whom are Londoners, is frustratingly slow. I thank the London Assembly's Brexit Working Group for their recent lecture on this issue. I couldn't agree more that EU citizens deserve certainty and a simple process for establishing their status. I've called on the Government to recognise the right to permanent residence of all EU nationals in the UK. The recently leaked document on future immigration options for EU nationals is also concerning. By suggesting tough restrictions on businesses and on individuals, the Government risks undermining the negotiations and risking their ambition of privileged access to the single market. Alongside meetings with senior members of the Cabinet, I meet regularly with David Davis, the Secretary of State for exiting the European Union, to press the needs of London's key sectors within the negotiations. I believe he understands our concerns and the concerns of business, but it's time that government started to reflect these in their negotiating stance. It's vastly important that the final deal between the UK and EU protects London's strengths, with no new tariff or regulatory barriers being placed in the way of our ability to trade across Europe. I've been clear that I believe continued membership of the single market is our best chance to achieve this and ensure the continued success of London's world-leading finance, professional services, tech, creative, life sciences and higher education sectors. Businesses need certainty to plan and invest, so it's also vital that the Government gets on with defining what type of transitional arrangements it's seeking. Businesses around the world are taking investment decisions now, and unless the Government can start offering some clarity about the future, London and the rest of the UK will start losing out.
Thank you. We're already hearing examples of discrimination against EU nationals as a result of concerns about what might happen in the transition arrangements. In light of the Government's leaked memo, how can you continue to reassure Londoners, and particularly EU nationals, that they're welcome in London? Well,
it's really important we understand that we have neighbours, friends and members of our family who are Londoners, but who are EU citizens who are feeling vulnerable, scared and uncertain about their future. I've been quite clear. As far as I'm concerned, they're welcome here, they're making a massive contribution, and that's not going to change. I've received reassurances from members of the Government I've met, I've got to be careful what I say, that the document that was leaked a couple of weeks ago in the press isn't the Government's stated position, which reassures me. We've got to carry on lobbying the Government to make sure when it comes to the negotiating with the EU that they reflect what we want, which is a deal that does right by EU citizens. And that, in my opinion, means they have a cast-iron guarantee that they'll be welcome to stay here.
Considering the potential impact on people's future, not just EU nationals but Londoners as a whole, do you feel the Government's providing the public with enough clear information about what post-Brexit UK will look like?
No, and I think the evidence we have is I'm not sure they know what post-UK Brexit looks like, and that's a source of concern for the reasons I've said. Businesses around the world are making decisions now about future plans, but also families want to make plans about the future as well. The Government needs to get to a position, a good position, and make that clear. It's also difficult for the EU to know where we stand. I've met 2 European ministers in the last week. They're none the wiser what the UK's position is.
Okay, thank you. I think we can all agree that it would be helpful for the Government to clarify the position as quickly as possible. Thank you.